over here is the indica that's going to put you down, and hybrids are in the middle. And I got back and forth, and I said, okay, I want the chocolate one. Okay, that's the first one I got, and I picked that because it had the chocolate tie in it, and I was like, okay, that sounds good. So I got it, took it home, used it, smoked it, and was in the house. And this, I think that's a hybrid, or probably up towards the sativa side. So I was in the house, like, feeling good. I was vacuuming. My wife was like, man, that's, whatever you got was great. So
It's towards the sativa side.
Because I'm like, got me going. So I would go back every time, and I just get the different stuff. Like, okay, I want sativa. I just trying all this different stuff. And then so in 2014, I left a teaching career in math and science and technology, and I said, okay, I want to get into the cannabis industry, and I started writing and researching. And I came across this guy named Jeff Raber, or Dr. Raber, and he owns actually a lab in Seattle and also down in Los Angeles called The Workshop. And I came across a video, and he was talking about the indica sativa thing, and it's no doubt to me that at some point it was true that if you get a sativa, really big, tall, stringy, lanky plants, and you used it, then you're going to get a high, uplifting feeling from it every time. And if you get the indica plant, every time you're going to get the go to sleep feeling or the sedative feeling. So I believe at one point that was the case, but now, according to Raber and some other people, all those lines have sort of been blurred. So the indica and sativa paradigm, I like to call it, because it is a belief system. You can walk right now into any 502 store and say, hey, I want an indica. And they're going like, oh, you must want it because you want to go to sleep. But in fact, this doesn't really apply anymore, indica and sativa. What is actually gives the effects from the plant are the terpenes, the terpenoids and terpenes. That's how you predict the effects of the plant. Indica sativa are just how the plant looks. And indica plant is short, big fat leaves, and all the other parts of it. Sativa, of course, is the big tall lanky ones. So those are just how the plant looks outwardly. So the new thing is, and I guess it's probably not new, but too new, the way you predict the effects is you want to ask for terpenes. And so in our body, those terpenes react with our body just like THC does. And sort of my theory and the way I sort of think of this is, like she was saying, Stephanie was saying, everybody has an endocannabinoid system in your body. And in cannabis, the two main things that react with that are the CBD and the THC. They react with your endocannabinoid system. Well, if you take a lemon and you cut it open and you smell it, and you take that lemon juice and you drink it and you get that limonene, you don't really get a higher effect off of it. I mean, you can, limonene or in a lemon will kind of give you some type of medicinal effect off it, but it's not nearly as strong as in cannabis. The way I like to think about this is if you think of THC and CBD sort of like a car or a bus or a van. And then in the cannabis, the terpenes sort of get packed in there with it. And so when you take that cannabis and you smoke it or ingest it, that limonene comes across, it goes along for the ride, as it were, with the THC. And so your body reacts to it totally different than that limonene in the lemon, even though it's the same thing. And so all the different strains have all their own unique terpene profiles. And that card I just handed you sort of goes through all the different terpenes and some of their therapeutic effects. So limonene, can somebody read off on it what limonene does?
It's citrus.
Yes.
It's an anti-nausea, antibacterial, antifungal, and fights cancer with an
uplifting effect. So limonene, that's the effects you can predict if you go to the I-502 store and you manage to get a limonene strain, which you'd be lucky trying to get it because we'll get to this in a minute. There's no way to tell in I-502 what the terpenes are. It's one of the frustrating things I have about going to these stores. So that's the limonene. It's prevalent in a lot of sativas, hence the uplifting effects from sativa. What about linalool? You want to read linalool for me?
Is a floral smell. It's an anti-inflammatory, antipsychotic, anti-seizure, fights cancer, and has a sedative effect.
And so linalool, that is very common in a hybrid in Blue Dream. If you look at the the testing results for linalool, or for Blue Dream, it has a lot of linalool in it. And that's the floral smell. And linalool is real prevalent in lavender. So we in Washington know, we should know lavender, the linalool. And you can take, a lot of people use linalool for, it's pretty common for a sedative effect. My wife carries around a little vial of linalool in her car before she goes into work or any kind of stressful situation. She'll take it and smell it. People wear lavender. It's very well known for kind of calming people down. So that's in cannabis too. And then we have myrcene.
Myrcene,
Green
herby smell. It's for pain relief, antibacterial, antiviral, anti-mucus, and sedative.
So myrcene is another. Now myrcene, I think it's, if you were to test them, that's going to be the one that's in a lot of indica strains because it is sedative or sedative. And I had this confirmed. I did all the research for this card, but as we know, there's not a ton of like really good standard research out there on cannabis. So, I put the stuff on the card and I was like, okay, this is all right. I've researched this for quite a long time, but I didn't really have a lot of proof of a lot of it. But I was doing an interview with a grower or a guy that was a breeder for a veterans group up in Canada for one of my articles I was writing, and he told me that he was growing stuff, and the veterans there said, hey, because they would, up in Canada, this is pretty already well known, and they actually breed a lot of their cannabis in their system for the different terpenes. So he had bred the myrcene so high up in the cannabis, the veterans came to him and said, hey, you got to tune that down a little bit because we can't, you take it and then we're just automatically knocked out. So that sort of confirmed to me on the myrcene, that it's the sedative effect. So probably way back when the indicas first kind of came onto the scene, that was what was in the indicas. And the next one is here, pinene or pinene.
Is pinene smell. It's for pain relief. It's an anti-inflammatory and bronchodilator with an uplifting effect.
So pinene or pinene is, or alpha pinene. That's very common. Turpentine. You can go to your grandma or the old timers, they'll tell you used to rub turpentine on people's chests to do if they have like pneumonia or something. It's a bronchial dilator. So it's a very common homeopathic thing is pinene. So it's been around. Now pinene, I put uplifting effect, but it's more, and it's a very it's probably the most common we have right now in Washington. One of the complaints I have and other people have is the breeders here have sort of bred the terpenes all up to a certain way. I think the pinenes are one of the most prevalent, and it's more of a uplifting sort of stony effect. It's the like the Scott's OG, the Gorilla Glue, the Cantaloupe. There's a whole bunch of them have the pinene. And next one is beta carotene. Is that the last one?
Yes, beta carotene. Woody and clove smell, anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective. No effect.
Now I put no effect on this, but I sent this card off to Dr. Raver and say, hey, check this out. What do you think? And he said that it's not no effect. It's just that we don't know the effect actually right now. But I was reading up on THC and anti-inflammatory effects of cannabis, and there are researchers in Sweden that found that the beta carotene is actually a very high anti-inflammatory effect. So I'm guessing it's probably a sedative or something akin to kind of a more mellow effect, but he just didn't quite know. So those are the main ones in cannabis. There's far more. I have this kit. I actually picked this up last week. I went to a cannabis job fair and actually ran into the workshop. And I'm like a workshop sort of fan, so I was all like, "Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you!" And they gave me this. So if you guys want to check this out later, or we could do during the panel or anytime you want to. I have all the terpenes here, and also I haven't dug into it as much as I should, but there's some cards here. There's a couple other terpenes that I had not heard of. One of them is terpene, and I think there's one more that I had not heard of. So that's sort of on all the terpenes. And just one more thing on the indica sativa. I mean, obviously these things were at some point were that way, and they just kind of came together for the way, where they grew and how they grew. So the last thing is we really need, as far as legislation and where we should take the terpenes, besides just being educated, to know that when you go into a store, it's virtually impossible now. Quick story, I've only been to the I-502 two times. One, I actually had to get on the registry because I need for sure protection from arrest, just because of where I live right in Tacoma, and I can't have any kind of problem with any kind of arrest. So I had to go on the registry, so I went to the I-502. So if I come up missing or anything bad happens to me, guys, know the registry's bad. So, but I went there for that, and then I went there another time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I had $30. I'm gonna go get it. Well, I went in there and I was gonna get some limonene. That's what I wanted, because I wanted the effects that limonene brings. And I said, okay, give me a Chernobyl, just because I thought that Chernobyl was limonene. I remember back when I was getting it at the medical dispensary, I thought that's what it was, but evidently my memory was wrong, because when I got it and opened it up, it was a penny. I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want. So as far as legislation and regulations, we really need to talk to the DOH, and I think they already kind of know about this. All those little packages at the I-502 stores need to say the top 2 or 3 terpenes on it.
Yeah.
And
especially since we can't smell it for ourselves now.
right, and I know people are attached to all the names and stuff, but the names are so frustrating. I have a friend of mine. He's
If it's breed, you have to have a name though.
yeah.
You can't not call it something. What are you
I mean,
supposed to call it? A1, A2,
Well, let's have the
B4?
name, but then list the terpene.
Yeah.
But I have, a friend of mine just got into the medical cannabis system about a year ago, and he's not like an enthusiast like a lot of people are. He's just like, I don't even know. He goes into the store and buys all this stuff. He's always so confused. He doesn't know what's happening with it. So let's just talk to the DOH. Maybe that's going to be one of the things I'm going to try to get done this year is, hey, let's list the terpenes. So
Well, that topic came up at the meeting where they discussed the guidelines to medical products, and no one seemed to really interested. Just so you know, I was there.
they didn't care. Well, no, they don't care.
Nobody as far as the state or patients.
Well,
or-
this was the Department of Health and a lot of I-502 growers.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, and it's, I get the impression down there in Olympia, they look at you, anybody really nerdy about cannabis, they're just like, what? My head's going. Why are you so enthused about this drug? So that doesn't surprise me.
You must be a hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.